You're listening to the Pittsburgh Piledriver.
What the hell is that?
Podcast.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for the put in and coming here this evening or this morning or wherever you are, whenever you listen, whenever you click on that button. I think that it's a great choice that you have made selecting this particular YouTube video or Spotify podcast or Apple podcast or look, if you're not listening on Apple or Spotify, like really, what are you doing? Like what? I'm listening on podcastle.tv. No, you're dumb. It's Spotify or Apple. Like, what? Is there any other place that holds a decent podcast? We're getting off the rails here. But in any case, it's the Pittsburgh Piledriverpodcast. Tiger Bomb Tom is here. Poot the Bard is here. Stutter McDumbface. God, I'm winded. I'm here. Also, our reigning, defending, undisputed, most handsome, most majestic overlord of your entire galaxy is here. That is Beef the Legend. He's the Cruiserweight champ. You will put the ones up for him because he is the Tribal Beef. You all can suck it because that's just the way your lives are going. I want to tell you this. We have picks to do. That's important, but can I make a request of you three?
I'd be offended if you didn't.
Fantastic. Before we do picks, because, we tend to get winded and get off in the weeds and talk about this and that, our loveliest bard has a hard stop at a certain time here this evening. So the last time we did picks, we were on a timetable because we were doing Among Us. You had mentioned that there was a Stump the Chumps from someone who had never sent in a Stump the Chumps before. Do you guys, so we can make sure that Poot is here for this historic once in a 4 or 5 year time frame, we get somebody new sending in questions? Like, I don't want Poot to miss this, and I don't want to delay it because, if this guy only comes back to hear his question being read and he's like, "Oh, these guys aren't even going to do the thing. I'm not listening anymore. Farm you.
They're a bunch of phonies.
Bunch of big pod phonies." Can we do the Stump the Champs from the new gentleman? So part board in here. God.
That would be great. I appreciate the concern, and also Big Pod's coming to get you.
Okay.
Don't trust Big Pod.
Big potty pump. First of all, bold of you to assume that it is a dude, although it probably is, or that they're a gentleman. That's debatable because who knows what this person could be. This might be Chris Benoit's son.
Okay.
He's a pretty nice guy, isn't he?
Let's hope so.
I don't know. Maybe.
What?
I like how we all just paused.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't want to piss off a Benoit, so read the question and show respect.
No. All right, this is from
Put it away.
Pero 3113. Now,
Sounds like
Poot's reaction at when I mentioned it makes me feel like he has some insider knowledge here. Poot, care to elaborate before we read the question?
I don't know what the fuck you're on about.
Okay.
All right.
So it's clear that Poot knows who this is, which is fine. He doesn't have to divulge.
I have no clue. I don't know who's doing what. I was just trying to be subversive.
If you're a friend of Poot and you sent this question in and you're listening, A, great choice by sending in a question to Stump the Champs. B, debatable choice on being friends with Poot and sending in a question and not saying that you're already friends with Poot. C, if this is Poot trying to pull a ransom and send in his own question, like I did that one time when I was Zack Snyder, you can suck it. Proceed.
I don't think Poot would set up a fake email. He's not like that. He's not like me. I would.
Oh, that's far too ambitious for me. I'm fucking lazy as dicks.
I have 12 emails. All right, so
wait.
Pero
Dicks do work.
3113. Pero is what, dog? Yeah?
Yes.
Spanish?
Yes. See.
Okay.
See?
Okay. The first WWE pay-per-view, or PPV, to be broadcast from outside the United States.
Was that Canada when they did the Silver Dome?
The Silverdome was in Pontiac, Michigan.
Whatever the other dome is that they do. Silverville, whatever.
No, hold on. Skydome, Toronto, WrestleMania
Thank you.
6. Hell. UK SummerSlam was 91, I think, maybe 92. I'm not 100% on that date. Insurrection was thereafter. So, and WrestleMania 6 would have been before all of that. This feels like a trap.
When did you say WrestleMania 6 was?
I didn't. It would have been 88,
Chris.
89.
Right, that's
Sometime in that.
That's pretty early. I mean, well, for WWE pay-per-views.
See, here's the thing, though. I feel like they had these little one-offs during that time before, like, pay-per-views really kind of caught on.
But were they on pay-per-view? Like, were these one-offs? Were these pay-per-views, or were these like one-offs outside the states, like televised?
Like Tuesday in Texas, for example, and I think that was after the fact anyway. But
I was gonna say, a lot of them were on like Tuesdays. They were on Saturdays. They were just kind of like, it's almost like finding. They'd have their weekly programming, but it would be like the shiny version of it.
But but my question were those shiny versions on pay-per-view, or were they just like
no, they were just televised.
Okay.
Yeah. So it seems too easy, and please, Pero 3113, take no offense by saying that. We're used to dealing with Pat, who always has chicanery up his sleeve, so we're always used to overthinking it. But I think the answer might be WrestleMania 6 in Toronto.
I feel like that's right. I feel like that's a good shot because, like, that would have been that WrestleMania 6 would have been. I'm trying to think what year was that, like 90 or 91?
Like 88, I think. Because I think WrestleMania 1 was 82. Yeah, I think WrestleMania 1 was 82 because I think it was the same year as my birthday. Well, yeah, because WrestleMania 40, it's a year after I was born. Because I'll be 42 in 16 days.
Oh, my neck.
So what we can really
PayPal.
What we can really do is take away from this is that Beef is older than WrestleMania.
Actually, wait. Was last year 40 or 41?
Last year was 40.
40.
No, okay. So then yes, and I am older WrestleMania. Ha ha ha. Fucking chuckle huts here.
Jeez. Well, I didn't even say anything.
I didn't say you did. I was talking about fucking
said
sultry
chuckle huts.
Fucking sultry voice the bard over here sending shots across the bow.
Your chuckle huts was plural, sir. Thank you.
That's fair.
So,
that's fair.
Did you say WrestleMania in Canada? What year was that?
89.
I feel like that.
What?
Hold on. The first WrestleMania was what year? It wasn't 82.
I think it was 83 because we're on WrestleMania 42.
Okay, so
no, we're on WrestleMania 41 this year, and I was born in 82. So something 1 year less old than me would be 83.
It would have been in the 90s, 1990.
It would have been 1990.
I'm not a math person. I'm not here for math.
Yeah, he's an English person and he can barely English.
I'm here for my good looks and my.
That's poop. Sorry.
Wow. That timing, though.
That was just the pop ransom. All right, I'm done. I promise.
Oh, no. I'm all high and I got the giggles. Toronto at the Skybox?
Yeah, WrestleMania 6 Skydome in Toronto.
That sounds about
WrestleMania
right.
6.
Because it has to be. Because think about it. Like, when they won.
Because didn't they make like a big deal about that since it was like the first one out?
It was.
Like, wasn't that like a big deal?
Well, and the only other one in contention was the SummerSlam with Brett and Bulldog that closed, and that was well after.
Yeah, that was definitely after.
Oh.
So I think that was like 92. So yeah, I'm comfortable saying WrestleMania 6 Toronto Skydome unless anybody has anything else to say.
No.
I don't think so.
2,
Like,
1,
I can't.
let's jam.
I trust your judgment on this one, bud.
I would think
This
that
was
their
a
first pay-per-view
hell of a
probably
question.
going to be Canada because it's like right across the border. They're not going to try out their first outside the United States. I don't care. Yeah, Canada, suck it. Answer time.
Canada, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll also accept who is the worst offensive coordinator in Steelers history. Canada, yeah.
Malin Luke, yeah.
That's French Canadian.
Oui. This is some nice things that are said. Hey, I just wanted to say that you guys are amazing, and I love listening to you. Well, Pero, I don't know if you know Poot or not, and if this is just him putting up to somebody, but if you're not, or whatever, even if you are, man, or lady, whoever, even if you are,
Henrik.
El Doggo, is this Scooby?
I wonder.
I was gonna say, if you hadn't put that together yet, I was just gonna sit here and be like, "Come on,
Oh,
bud."
so Putin knew.
Yeah, Poot knew. Damn it.
No,
Poot.
I didn't know, but it's like Pero L whatever, and I'm like, well,
Okay,
Pero
so
means dog.
you-
It has to
You
be
don't
Scoob.
know that this is actually Scooby.
No.
I'm sick and tired of Poot's subterfuge tonight. Can we?
Chicanery.
No, it's subterfuge, and I hate him. Can we
Well,
move on with this answer and read this answer because
Here's
fucking Poot is making me like. Listen, man, I'm all rainbow roaded up. I'm
he's
I'm
so
out
upset.
there. I'm in my garage. I don't have any lights on except a nightlight, and I see shadows everywhere. And every time Poot comes in with one of his fucking sneak things, like I see the shadow, and I'm like, "Oh God, there's a guy here!" It's just Poot getting in my head.
Oh, the
Stop
shadow
it.
people are coming for ransom. You guys remember
Stop
that episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark with the shadow people?
Yeah, I didn't
Anyway.
like that. Can you not do that right now with me here tonight in my current state? Please move on with this answer. Poot is freaking me out enough.
Regardless of whether this is Scooby or someone else is genuinely a different listener, we appreciate you listening. It is a good question. They say it hopes it's a good question. SummerSlam 1992, which aired on August 31st of 1992, the event was broadcast from the UK, which I believe to be an incorrect answer. I'm going to my internet fingers right now. Give me a second.
My internet fingers. I gotta dial up.
I already got it.
Sir,
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
I got it.
You have a terminal
Yeah.
case of internet fingers.
I give you about 3
so
weeks of connectivity.
WrestleMania 6.
Yep. So
April 1st, 1990.
Jared Listerman has failed us.
I appreciate the question is a great question, but sometimes, and Pat has done this himself, so if you need some counseling, just seek out a friend, the Midcard Maniac. He'll tell you what it's like to outthink yourself, because that's what's happened here. And to be fair, I even flexed on you and said, hey, outside of North America, yes, the first one was Britain, SummerSlam. But that's not how the question was phrased. It was out of the country, which I'm sorry, sir, madam, dog, cat, living together, mass hysteria. You lose. Thanks for coming. But we look forward to hearing your next question.
So, let me just say this. Get it right, you man. What is wrong with you? I'm going to berate this person.
I feel like it is Scooby because I feel like this is a very Scooby thing to do.
You sent in a question,
Oh, boy.
and then you go ahead and deliver. Pat, is this you? You've done this
No.
so much. Did you create a second email address just so that you could be like, look, I got to save face. I'm constantly sending in questions with incorrect answers, and I'm getting burned all the time. My ass here is all singed, so I got to fix this. So I'm going to create this new email address, pretend to be this bumbling oaf, and send in this question with the wrong answer. Sir, I'm going to need you to go ahead and fact check yourself the next time you send in a question, or I'll have to retrieve your fax number and fax you a picture of my middle finger, because that's what you're going to get. Keep it up.
You upset the ransom.
Keep it up. Keep it up.
There are a few.
There was
this is-
so much that just happened right
Keep it up.
there.
I'm
Again,
telling you.
assuming that we're not being trolled, or what's a catfish? Assuming that we're not being scoop fished here, dog fished, if you will.
Dog
fished.
Poot's done. I heard that in his voice. He goes, dogfish. He said, "Somebody go revive Poot."
Get it right, man. This dude sends in a question and farms up the answer. Look, if you've listened to the podcast, you understand that like we're dummies and we heal up. Like I'm not really berating you. Like just in case you haven't listened to very many. It's the shtick. It's the character. It's a heel. Come on, get with it. Tell your mother about me.
That really fucking got me. Tell your mother about me.
The fucking Grinch laughed after killed me too. Fucking Jesus Christ, Ransom. So there we are.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Playing. You'll be able to get our home game edition on Etsy someday.
Get in your home.
But so there you go. Nothing like starting with a box.
Oh my god, what is happening?
We started the box.
Ransom's going 150 on Rainbow Road.
Oh,
like,
Man, you better hope you don't fucking miss your jump, man.
Oh man, I'm telling you, like I'm fairly certain I am 100 milligrams. I mean 100 cc's. Or no, not
250 cc's.
No, I'm 202. Hey, do we have picks to do?
Yeah, we do. Oh my
I
god.
can't, man.
Well, we've lost Ransom.
Poot, help.
Ransom's gone bye-bye.
Okay.
Alright.
I'm waiting for the goofy thing. I can't do it because my voice is all fucked up from being sick. But the just down Rainbow Road he goes.
Oh hell!
Lackatu, help.
Oh fuck! Oh my god!
Bobman's got nothing.
This is the only reason that I came here on this podcast this evening. This is the only reason. Because we're picking NXT, and I know less about NXT than I know about AEW, and I know zero about AEW. I'm in the negatives with knowledge here. So glad.
Fact check. Ransom had the exact same amount of points as me on the last AEW show.
Yikes!
Well, I was driving down Rainbow Road when I sent those picks in, so this might bode well for me tonight, girl.
I thought Ransom had the highest.
No, you I think had the highest.
Did I?
Yeah.
You and Dave. Dave has not been great on AEW, but like he nailed that show too. You both had 51.
Yeah, I've been sucking balls on picks, man.
Yeah, girl.
I just
suck them balls.
I mean,
tell your father about me.
Oh no! Oh no!
In typical Poot fashion, it's very much like nail like 90% of the pay-per-view, but the one you go big and crazy on never pans out, buddy.
Oh,
never pans out. All right.
I mean, I feel them. I've been there so many times.
Yeah.
Oh!
Sometimes you got to get crazy. Well, there goes Ransom.
Everything's fine.
Now we're down.
Probably
now we're down too. All right. Yeah. So let's talk about Deadline. This Sunday, I think it's a Sunday. The 7th. What day is the 7th? Is that a Saturday?
It's a Saturday.
Sunday's the 8th.
Oh, Saturday?
Sunday's the 8th. Saturday's the 7th.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Pick a
Saturday, December 7th, Deadline emanates from Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the Minneapolis Armory. Now, whenever I think of armories in pro wrestling, I think of indie shows, but this is a big fucking venue. This is a venue that hosts. It doesn't even fucking say 8,400. So that's a decent amount of people, man. That's right where NXT should be reaching. And if we're being real, that's where AEW should be reaching too. If you can get 5 to 10 consistently on like your big events, that's what you want.
What event is this? What event is this?
NXT Deadline.
Okay.
Which is slowly creeping into my pantheon of like exciting shows. I really like the Iron Survivor concept.
Yeah.
I think it's a really neat thing. And if you're not familiar, because I know that sometimes NXT escapes us. 2 people start, and then every 5 minutes another wrestler enters, and the final one isn't at the 15-minute mark. And I'm just going directly from Wikipedia here. Each time a wrestler scores a pinfall submission or is the victim of being disqualified,
Oh.
they gain a point.
Oh,
Points
no.
can be, unlike the War Games, points can be gained before other participants have entered. The wrestler who is pinned, submitted, or disqualified goes into a penalty box for 90 seconds. And then the winner is whoever has the most points at the end of the 25-minute time limit. And there are circumstances for sudden death overtimes. So yeah, the penalty box is really intriguing to me. I like that idea a lot. And yeah, I mean it's basically an Iron Man match, but coupled with the Survivor Series, and yeah, it's just a fun little gimmick. So here are our matches that we're going to be picking, in the order that we'll be picking them. We're going to see Lola Vice versus Jada Parker. I'm sorry, Miss Jada Parker, and an NXT Underground match, which is a fancy way of saying a booked shoot match. Nathan Fraser and Axiom, or Fraxium, defend against the No Quarter Catch crew, which is Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights. No Quarter Catch crew is synonymous with being old Willie Reeg's kids group. Trick Williams defends the title against Ridge Holland, the main NXT title. And then we have the 2 Iron Survivor matches that I was speaking of. Sol Ruka, Stephanie Vaquer, Zarya, Julia, and Ren Sinclair are all part of the women's Iron Survivor. Iron Survivorette. And we have Wesley, Javon Evans, Nathan Frazier, Ethan Page, and Eddie Thorpe as part of the men's Iron Survivor match. I will give those names before we do the actual picks of the matches too.
I'm honestly surprised that they have Nathan Frazier doing double duty that night, but that's...
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be part of like a thing where like Axiom did it too, and then they didn't do that. But here's what's weird to me: on the most recent episode of NXT, after Lola Vice cost Jada Parker her shot into the Iron Survivor match for the women.
That was great.
Jada Parker came out and was like, put these ropes down, and they actually did put the ropes down. She was like, let's do this right here. And Ava, the general manager, of course, also the Rock's daughter, was like, no, you can't have 2 matches in one night. And I'm like, what about Frazier? What?
Fuck him. That's
fuck,
what.
Ava. Come on, man. Fuck him.
Well, they say talent skips a generation, so that pans out.
No, I don't put that on Ava, because it's not like Ava's actually making the decisions. Like somebody at WWE HQ should have thought about that 2.5 seconds.
You mean Shawn Michaels? I mean, he is the one running NXT.
I give him a little bit more leeway because his eye is just starting to get its own orbit. So he probably had trouble seeing the card from where he was sitting. Anyway,
how dare you insult one of the greatest of all fucking time?
Oh my god,
he is. I'm having a fun.
He's even said something about it recently. He said something about his wonky eye. I can't remember. I wish I could find the clip, but it was great. Like he pokes fun at himself about it all the time.
You know why? It's because he kicked Stan. Stan was actually a voodoo shaman and has cursed him with the wonky eye now and
see,
the bad hair.
I just kicked Stan.
Yep.
You know when he actually got
kicked Stan, his looks have been downhill.
So wait, you're telling me that Ty Dillinger can curse people?
Wait, have we ever seen Ty Dillinger and Danhausen in the same place at the same time?
I don't think we've seen Ty Dillinger and Stan in the same place at the same time.
Oh, Stanhausen even.
Fun fact, you know who actually how he got his wonky eye? It was Kane.
Oh, Kane. Yeah.
Took a boot to the face.
It was
Kane.
the Goozle, right? Oh, it was the boot, right? Yep. I think I just saw something about that recently. Anyway, those are our matches. a goozle, like a choke slam. Those are our matches. We're gonna start picking now. Lola Vice, Jada Parker, NXT Underground match. I'll be the good guy and I'll lead off. So I don't think any of these matches are like gimmies.
No.
They're all kind of tough to call. I'm picking Lola Vice here, and I'm putting my 3-pointer on her. I am a Lola fan, but that notwithstanding, I think, again, I think that we're in a very 50-50 booking place with a lot of talent right now. Jada got the last win over Lola. I forget what event. I think it was Halloween Havoc.
Yeah.
By using the brick.
No, it was that was the ECW, the hardcore match they had.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So she had the last win over Lola. So I think, and the NXT Underground match is Lola Vice's match. Like I think she beat Shayna Baszler in NXT Underground. She's beaten everybody in NXT Underground. They make her out to be like a fighter, MMA style. So yeah, I don't see any reason for Lola not to go over. Building to a very likely blow off match of some sort at maybe New Year's Evil, maybe a different event in the future. But that's my thoughts, and I'm sticking to it. Lola Vice 3 points. Poot, who you got?
I'm gonna go Lola Vice 4 points.
Is there
that's my statement, Your Honor.
Okay. I didn't know if you wanted to.
Objection!
That's overruled.
Overruled.
You can't. How do you give your answer to Your Honor and then overrule somebody who object? You can't do that.
Don't think about it too hard. Just don't think about it too hard.
I'm gonna cut off your entire face.
I'm gonna kill him.
Welcome to the welcome to the P3 Presents ASMR night.
Don't bully me, I'll come.
Lola Vice or whoever Beef picked for 3 points.
I did pick Lola. You got it.
And I picked that same person for that
Yes,
same
you
amount
did.
of money points. Zenny.
Tom?
I'll take Lola Vice, but I'm only putting my 1-pointer on it. I don't know. I got a funny feeling. Like all the reasons you say, I feel like Lola Vice should win. Do the back and forth 50-50 booking, but I don't know. Like I feel like they got to pull the trigger on one of these two somewhere somehow, sooner rather than later. But
I think that this has had an interesting Brett Austin feel to it, where we've basically had the double turn, which is fine. I think that Lola is a way better heel than she is a face.
I'm not
think
paying
that she's
attention to her face anyway, so it's okay.
That's fair.
Booyah!
I think that she is a great, smarmy heel, a la Sasha Banks in NXT. I think she pulled it off a lot better than fucking white meat babyface.
Whiteface baby
just
meat.
smile and dance, smile and dance. No, give me like the Lola Vice that happened prior to losing to Roxanne. But also saying, Jada Parker's gotten mad over with the fans. People love Jada Parker with good reason. She's putting in some great character work, and her in-ring work is really coming along too. So yeah, I mean, this was an absolute tough choice, but like I said, man, this is a card of tough choices. So I had to go, kind of middle of the road here because I used some of my bigger points later. Speaking of later, here we are. It's later now, but when will now be then? Next, we're gonna pick the tag team title match. Frazier and Axiom versus the No Quarter Catch Crew for the NXT Tag Team Championship. Poot gets to lead us off here. Who you got, Poot?
He's muted.
All right.
He might have
It's on the
something going.
recording.
It's okay.
Well, then
Give him the stick.
we'll pivot and we'll jump to Ransom. Ransom,
Oh,
who you got here?
Good. Who are the champions?
Fraser and
Nathan
Axiom.
Frazier-
Oh
Yes.
yeah. So yeah, I'm going with them for a 4 spot.
Okay.
Axiom, 4 points.
The other, Tom.
I'm going the other way, and I know it's bit me in the ass before betting against Fraxium, but Jesus Christ, man, they do nothing for me, and I really want to see them. I really want to see them do something with this with the NQCC. So I'm gonna put my 4 points on No Quarter Catch Crew.
Jesus, you guys are going hard.
Man, I got to. There's reasons.
This was.
I got no reasons.
This is I'm gonna sound like a fucking broken record. This was tough.
It's a tough one.
This is a tough one.
Because
That's a tough one.
they've been teasing this Frazier and Axiom split for like 7 months.
God, make it end already.
Where Axiom doesn't feel like Frazier's dialed in because Frazier's focusing on other things. And oh, hey, surprise, surprise, Frazier has a second match in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
I want to put a caveat on this. I'm picking Fraxium for 2 because I just don't. It's not that I don't see the appeal in the No Quarter Catch crew, but I think that this particular unit of them has 0 heat, 0 appeal to me. I think that the money is in Willie Reeg's son and Ren Sinclair. I think that these two are just, fucking Derpy 1 and Derpy 2 to carry the stable. So, like, I don't think that they're going to waste... Because Frazier and Axiom have had a decent reign. I don't think they're going to waste that on this. But I think that things could get wonky. And we may see the men's Iron Survivor kick off the show.
Mm-hmm.
And the women's Iron Survivor close the show.
That's kind of what my feeling was and why I picked them.
I apologize. I may or may not have a phone call.
It's okay.
I'll go, buddy.
Yeah.
We pivoted. I feel like because the talent is there for both, but I think the women's has a little bit more like ready to go talent right now, whereas the men's I think is like talent on the rise. So I think that it's going to be a bigger match for the women. So that being said, I feel like if the men start off the night, I feel like Fraxium's definitely going to lose. And like I can't, obviously hedge bets or anything. I can't say, oh well, if this then this. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm putting my 2-pointer on Fraxium, just because traditional booking says that the women probably open, the men probably close. And if that's the case, I don't think that factors in. But there's a chance, and I just want everybody listening to know that, like, I think that if the men go on first, Fraxium probably will lose, and thus they will use this as like the impetus of the Nathan Frazier Axiom.
But to be clear, you're still picking Fraxium for.
I am picking Fraxium 2 points because again, I think the women will lead off the show. It's possible the tag match leads off the show as well, so it may be a moot point. But you would think one of the Iron Survivor matches opens the show, the other closes it.
Yeah, you got to. Like, that's a smart way of doing it, just like how they do the Survivor Series stuff, which I have a point on that later when we're done with picks.
Exactly. So yeah, all that big long-winded to say Fraxium 2 points because I think they're going to go with standard booking. Poot, welcome back. You're on the block and you get to do 2 picks in a row.
Oh, dope.
Fraxium versus NQCC for the tag team titles.
You know what? I'm gonna. Didn't Fraxium just get these?
No,
No.
they've had them for quite some time.
Let's get fucking weird. 5 points on no quarter catch crew.
My man.
Wow, Poot. Jesus, you guys must know something I don't, or just are.
No, I'm just dumb as fuck, baby. Let's go.
Baby, let's go. Okay, so I'll walk it back a little bit. Fraxium did get them back in September of this year. Prior to that, they won them on WrestleMania weekend of this year and lost them in August. So it hasn't been one continual reign, but it's been a pretty long, time that they've had them. Poot, like I said, you're gonna take ransom swap for first pick here. Trick and Ridge and Trick.
So I already gave up my 4 and 5. So yay, let's play around, boys. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 3 points on Ridge Holland.
Okay.
Because Trick Williams, first of all, I feel like despite his best efforts on, ruining Big E's career and generally being a giant clumsy lump of clay, I feel like they're high on Ridge Holland. I feel like Trick Williams should be getting the let's effing go up to the main roster at some point. Ridge Holland is believable enough to carry the belt. And, we're going into the new year. Fuck it. Let's do something new. Ridge Holland, 3 points. Plus, I can't be losing any worse than I am now.
Oh, you can. Oh, you will. Ransom.
Dope.
What?
Trick Williams.
I'm
Ridge
gonna
Holland.
say farm off. To Ridge Holland, I'm gonna pick Trick Williams for 5 points.
Nice.
Tom?
I'm also putting my 5-pointer on Trick. Just looking at the list of participants in the men's Iron Survivor, and the winner of that getting the championship match at New Year's Evil. Man, there's only 2 people that I feel realistically are walking out of this Iron Survivor as a possible winner, and they're both heels.
Oh, fuck, that's New Year's. Oh, that's New Year's Evil. Fuck, can I change my answer?
Regis?
I mean,
I'll commit the same amount of points one way or another.
well, yeah, I mean,
I missed it. What was the question?
wanting to know
change his answer.
if Poot can change his answer.
Denied.
All right.
Oh.
You answer, they're locked in. How many times did Beef say that?
So it is written. So it is said.
Sorry, man. I
missed it. What was his rationale?
My
because
rationale.
He didn't realize.
Yeah.
No, Poot's wanting to change.
I realized fucking changes. I'm jumping the gun on like changes going into next year with the fucking everything, and I'm just like, son of a bitch. I did a bad. But that, you know what? I did a bad is my documentary, so this will just fit in another chapter. So never mind. Move on.
Jesus.
All right.
Okay.
All right, great.
And I'm not going to pitch anything to Rainbow Ransom right now. So
Yes, my favorite child show star, Rainbow Ransom. Tom, were you finished with your rationale? Did you want to keep going before Poot lumbered in trying to uproot everything?
No, I just feel like
I want to change my answer.
There's no way. There's no way that. Okay, listen.
I had my volume turned down because I was listening to something in the house, but he just like burst into flames.
Yeah,
Or...
Tom was talking. He's like, Poot was like, oh fuck, I want to change my answer. And I'm like, okay, well, guess this
Man, if I would have heard that,
her.
I would have permitted it.
Well, anyways.
Like, if the humor would have gotten me, I would have permitted it. But unfunny, unpermitted. Oh, I think I weed a little.
Let's be real.
What's the next pick?
Well, I'll wait to
Okay.
see if Tom has it.
No,
Just
it's
saying,
fine. Go
Oh.
ahead.
My bad. Sorry.
No, let's move it along. Move it along.
It's been
Go.
Steamboat. Well, I'm gonna make it
Steamboat
easy.
Willie.
Whoop that city. 5 points here. Trick Willie's gonna keep on winning for now. I do think that we do get a title change at New Year's Evil, though. Spoiler alert. So we are going to move on to the Iron Survivor matches here. So once
Sheik.
again, something different. The women involved, Ransom, this is for you, are Sol Ruka, known surfer, Stephanie Vaquer, known awesome wrestler, Zarya, Australian menace, Julia, beautiful, dangerous, maybe the best, and Ren Sinclair, fucking notable rookie. It's Tom's pick.
Of
I'm not
course.
supposed to keep track of any of this.
So I know Beef's gonna hate this pick.
Don't.
Yeah, you know where I'm
Do
going.
it. Pick
with
it. Pick his nose. Pick his friends.
So it's
You're
not
about to pick Sol Ruka. I'm kicking you off the podcast.
Soruken.
good.
I don't have that power to do that unilaterally. You're fine. Go ahead.
So it's not going to be Ren Sinclair. That's for damn sure. Zarya just got on the scene, and I don't know. Like a safe bet might be Julia, maybe Stephanie Vaquer, but I don't know. I feel like they're gonna.
Sol Ruka.
Huh?
I said, are you gonna pick Sol Ruka?
I think I actually might.
Soruken.
And here's my rationale: is I think they're gonna
Go
have.
punch a car.
Okay.
Is Julia the one that just came like a few months ago? That was like a big deal on the Indies or something.
She was big in Japan.
Japan. That's
they've
it.
all just they've all came in the last few months. Julia's big in Japan.
Oh.
Stephanie was big in Mexico, and Zarya was a big deal in Australia.
But like Julia's already gotten a title shot recently, and she won, or I mean, she lost because of Cora Jade.
Mm-hmm.
So I could still see Cora Jade getting her like coming out and somehow getting involved, and I don't know, fucking costing one of the 3 newly acquired editions there. I really don't see Ren Sinclair coming away with it at all. Sorry to say, like I think she's cool. I like the whole dynamic with her and Charlie Dempsey, especially whenever he was trying to get the Heritage Cup back. Like I loved all that shit. But I don't know. It just something says to me they're high on Sol Ruka, so I'm picking Sol Ruka for 3 points. And now Beef has an aneurysm, and go on.
No, it's fine. I don't understand why Ren Sinclair is in this match. You have 3 of two of the best women's wrestlers in the world today. Zarya, who they're pushing like a powerhouse. Sol Ruka, who they clearly see something in. And Tuesday night, they had the last chance battle, or the last chance match, which was a fatal 4-way with Cora Jade, with Kalani Jordan, with Ren Sinclair, and with Jada Parker.
Yeah.
Jada obviously lost because, to further the feud with Lola. I understand that. Kalani is great. She was very stale as North American. Hold on. She was very stale as the North American champion, but I think that she has a lot of great athletics. But I mean, Cora Jade was the one to pick. I for the life of me, don't understand why they're so allergic to giving Cora Jade her spotlight. Unless fucking Braun Breaker's sitting there in Sean's ear being like, nah, fuck her.
Oh, does he not like her?
Well, they were dating for the longest time.
Are they not
Oh.
anymore?
They're
I
not.
would assume
no.
not.
She's with somebody altogether different. I think he's in NXT currently, and I don't know who Braun is with now. But to me, I think Cora Jade's got the whole package. I think that she has like the mean girl down to a T. I think that she has an absolute dynamite look. And I think that she is good enough in the ring that they should make her a major player. So, I'm very confused as to why Ren is in this match, period, other than for the lulz.
Well, so I think
Is she not like a? Oh, sorry.
I mean, she's okay. She's okay. She's not
Like I don't know anything about like her, so I don't know. Like, is she just not there yet, caliber quality wise, with these other people?
Exactly. Because she's one of the NXT does yearly breakout tournaments, and she's one of the one that came in last year, from the breakout tournaments. As was I think Jada Parker, as was the Levi. So yes, this is what NXT is for, is to bring the young ladies along. But I feel and yes, I know that Cora Jade's been injured for 2 of the last 4 years. But man, they gotta pull a trigger on her if they're expecting anything out of her at some point.
So, I think the only reason they didn't have Cora go in this in the Iron Survivor match is because I feel like that there's gonna be some sort of dynamic between her and Roxanne or whatever.
Oh, absolutely.
Either Roxanne, when Roxanne loses the title, that the two of them team up and win the tag team gold, or I don't know, but something there. So I don't think they want to have them directly opposing one another just yet. I think that's the only reason of that. And Kalani, man, talk about fucking white face baby meat. That's her to a T. She's boring though. Athletically gifted, but personality of a fucking smiling wet rag. I'm sorry.
That's accurate.
I see. It's the same. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with Frazier and Axiom. Man, he's so fast. He's so fast. Well, it's great, but get me emotionally invested. I don't give a fuck. You can both. You know what? Yeah, fast isn't a personality. Well, sometimes it is fast and easy, but but hey, yeah, hey yo,
whoa,
but shit. Just give me something to work with, and I see that that was kind of Ren Sinclair was kind of their only other option. I mean,
that's fair.
It could.
Yeah.
I could have seen it easily going to Kalani or Ren, but I like the fact that Ren just happened to literally fall into this match because she got knocked out by Lola Vice.
It was a great spot.
It was a great spot.
And
it's and honestly, it kind of speaks to her character. The kind of clumsily just finding her way into everything. I don't know. I'm here for it. I like Ren as a personality more than I do Kalani. And
100%.
I mean, but yeah, I agree with you. Cora Jade would have been great, but I just don't think they're ready to put her and Roxanne opposing one another just yet.
Sure, there's going to be a story there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, man, you made a lot of salient points. But that being said, I have to go Julia, man. You don't bring this big of a signing in to have her not carry that strap. And I appreciate Roxanne Perez because she is amazing and she is still so young. And she has a huge career ahead of her. And I think that her having the chops to do face and heel work is going to carry her a long way. All that being said, I think that again, you want to fast track Julia and get her on the main roster where they have they do have some stars up there for sure, but like some of the depth isn't there. And I think that Julia being up there sooner than later could be great. But I think you don't just want to throw her up there and be like, here's Julia. You want to equate her with the NXT audience. And I think the best way to do that is with a nice title run. So all that being said, I am taking Julia. Putting my 4-pointer on her. Just because I think it's time. It's time for the beautiful madness. Speaking of beautiful and madness, Poot the Bard, who you got?
I am going to put I was leaning towards Stephanie Vakir, but I'm going to lean with you on this one, Beef. I'm going to say 2 points on Julia.
Well, Stephanie was the other way that I mean, and
It's not quite a pick'em though.
Well, I think it's yeah.
Oh,
Tom's pick of Sol Ruka really kind of like came in out of nowhere to me. Like I was like, huh? Because like to me it's a 3-horse race. It's either Julia, Stephanie, or Zarya. I could easily see them giving it to Zarya too, because they're pushing her as like a destroyer. And like, what better match to have her look dominant than an Iron Survivor where she can just fucking stack up wins? That being said, I don't think that they're going to let that be. I don't know. Tom's probably right. Things might get fucky with Cora Jade, messing with Julia. We might get some more of like Cora Jade and Roxanne versus Julia and Vaquer, which I'm fine with. But yeah, to me it was a 3-horse race. But I mean, Tom might be right. Like I'll back Tom up and say this: they absolutely see something in Sol Ruka. The fact that she is in this match, the fact that she has been so heavily featured week in, week out, even though she has not won a championship yet, they absolutely do see something that they're going to try and like
Yeah.
work into success.
It was the same thing with Fallon Henley right before she
Yes.
won the women's North American Championship, which like I honestly thought she was going to be the inaugural, but
Probably should have been.
Probably.
If we're being honest.
oh yeah.
Ransom, who you got on this one?
oh, dearie me. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not an NXT or shame on me. So
How dare you?
2 points. That's what I say.
Okay. On.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put you down for Zarya. Move along.
On the winner. That's-
Easy there, Bobby Heenan.
On the winner. I picked the winner. It's not fair to Flair.
Pulling some Heenan shit. I know these tricks.
Shut up, Monsoon. I'm gonna say Stephanie. I'm gonna say Stephanie for 2 points because, hey man, pick her.
Yeah. And again, like I don't know which way it's going to go. Absolutely. I just put 4 in this because I don't have any fucking clue, man. And then finishing up with the men's Iron Survivor match. Which is a little bit, I think, to Tom's point, a little bit more of a cut and dry, but I think that there's still some question marks in there. So first and foremost, I probably should have put my fucking 5-pointer on this because it's probably going to get thrown out anyway. Because Eddie Thorpe was attacked at the end of the last thing we saw at the end of NXT on Tuesday was Eddie Thorpe laying in the locker room and everyone being like, what happened to Eddie Thorpe? I don't know. Poor Eddie Thorpe. So things could get fucky. And, as has happened in the past, if there is a change to the match as it stands right now, points are given. But And again, for everybody, the contestants here are Wesley, Javon Evans,
He's bouncy.
Nathan Frazier,
He's fast.
Ethan Page, and Eddie Thorpe. Frazier's fast. That's his personality. He's fast.
He's fast. Fuck him.
To me, again, 2-horse race here.
Yep.
Unless this is like NXT Swerve Saturday,
Super Swerve Saturday?
which again is fucking possible because I don't like New Year's Evil is not like a PLE. I don't think it's on January 2nd, which is or no, that was last year's. Do we know when New Year's Evil is this year? Next year? Let me
I'll look it up.
see
Did
here.
I pick the NXT Championship match? I don't remember picking that.
Yeah, you picked Trick. 5
Yeah.
points.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Man, how many pots have you smoked?
Dude, I spent like the last 5 minutes while you guys were talking about actual matches that we were currently picking, thinking, did I pick that match? Like, I don't remember picking that match. There's no way I would have picked Rich Holland, right? Who did I pick? Did I pick that? Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
Oh, I was racking my brain. Fuck. I'm glad I picked Trick because I didn't want to pick. I didn't want to pick Ridge, and if for some reason I got bucked out for Ridge, that whole not changing your vote thing for Poot's going to come back to bite me. Hoisted by my own.
Petard.
No, you're good, fam. You're good.
I'm going to get some rum because this is only going to make it better.
Your brain did you right. But yeah, I think it comes down to Wes and Ethan. I think that those are your two viable winners of this match.
By the way, Beef, there is no announced
right
date for.
I saw that.
Okay.
Last year it took place on a Tuesday, but I don't remember if I guess NXT do happen on Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible that it could be the 8th. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyhow, that is, I guess, next show's problem. I think that we're due for a changing of the guard.
Oh.
And yeah, and not that Trick Williams hasn't done great. He has. Across his two reigns.
2 reigns.
He's been a pretty great champion.
His 3D2 reigns.
He's had some great matches, and God knows the fans love him. So, like, absolutely, I think he's destined for greatness from literally nowhere. He may even eclipse Mello on the main roster because, my God, have they fumbled that man. Anyway, I feel like this is Wesley's to lose. I think heel Wesley is very intriguing. And I think that heel Wesley as the NXT champion would be an amazing thing. Ethan Page had his run. I think it's Wes's time. So I'm taking Wesley 1 point. Poot?
It's Wesley 1 point. Fuck, I should have thought a little bit more.
Ransom?
Well, Wesley, 1 point. Right? That's why go against the system.
Because, anytime we've all picked the same thing, we're always right? Tom,
help.
you going to say the graphic?
Eddie Thorpe not winning.
Yes!
And not winning this match. Because Wesley is for 2 points.
There it is. Ain't going to be no graphic saving this time.
Oh,
Eddie Thorpe said.
Like I said, I think at the end of the day, things get fucky, and I think we see a replacement anyway. I don't know. I wouldn't even fathom who the replacement would be. Oh, yes, I do.
Fetty Yorp.
Yes, I do. Who?
Big E.
Fetty Yorp.
Close.
Eddie Thorpe's evil twin brother.
Obafemi.
Oh, damn it.
Boba
Would not
Fett.
shock me if they put fucking Obafemi in this match and he runs roughshod and he's the guy to beat Trick. Has Oba faced Trick
Ooh.
yet?
I don't think, because he was busy.
So,
he was busy running roughshod over the North American Championship.
Yeah. So, like, he's another dude who I think is a very strong heel. I'm rooting for Wesley, don't get me wrong, but like any match Obafemi's in, I can't root against him because I am a huge Obafemi mark. So at the end of the day, all these points could be thrown out. I, like Poot, should have thought ahead and been like, oh yeah, it's my 5-pointer, knowing that things are probably going to get fucky and I was just going to get the points anyway. But by God, I did it the honest way.
So remind me
But
again, if Thorpe gets thrown out, or if he
We
gets
get the
replaced, this match gets thrown out, and whatever you bet, you get.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. I know
Now-
I've asked that before, but I constantly forget.
Yeah. So we'll definitely want to make sure to get the post up so everybody gets their picks in before all that bullshit happens, one way or the other.
Right. Which, can we talk about that for a minute? Can we talk about how somebody like on the go home show of Raw gets hurt, gets laid out in the back, and all of a sudden they can't make it to a Saturday pay-per-view or a Sunday pay-per-view? Like,
But they're
oh,
back the next week on Raw.
right. Like, oh, he got slammed on the concrete like they do every fucking night of their life. He won't be able to make it to the match. I don't. Unless you're insinuating someone went at him with a fucking blowtorch. Like, let's be real here.
Human Torch.
Burn them.
They're grown-ass men and women. They can stand there and be like, nope, I'm good. Get me back in that fight, Doc. Now, the only thing I'll say is if they approach it from, like, an angle of, like, I think what they should do is start doing fucking, like, concussion shit, which I guess is kind of, like, blending that line.
I almost thought you were gonna say they should start doing cocaine. I was like, what?
Start doing
I know they're
cocaine.
moving to Netflix and Raw's moving to Netflix, but Jesus Christ, Beef.
What do you think goes with those WWE ID things that they hand out? Fucking party bags of cocaine, man. They got to get you ready for the big time.
What's Tony Khan doing on Raw?
Yes.
But I mean, realistically, like if you come out and be like, oh, they're in concussion protocol, okay, that's believable,
Yeah.
viable. I personally, I don't like blurring that kind of a line, especially with concussions being so serious. But also understanding that it's a story, and sometimes it's okay for us to be worked.
Here,
So
look, I mean, I agree with you, but like, why can't they just do it the night of?
Exactly.
Like, that's more believable and more easy to accept. Like, they've done it before. They did it on,
Yes.
I can't remember which Royal Rumble it was. Like, Mankind took out, or Mick Foley took somebody out in the back, like, the night of, when it was supposed
Yeah.
to be their thing. Like, why don't they take Thorpe out? Thorpe? What's his name?
Thorpe.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Have a backstage interview with him or something. Have him get taken out that night.
Yeah, absolutely. It just and like I've seen it happen before, and I just SmackDown's a little bit better because at least it's still it's closer to the date. But I mean, even still, like you have 24 to 48 hours to recuperate. And like, especially if it's a fucking title match, like we're working kayfabe, honestly, like. But like, if it's a title match, like you're gonna fucking stitch yourself together, and you're gonna be like, "Let's fucking go! Let's get this bread." So like, I don't know. It's just a silly spot to do on the go home show, and yeah, Ransom's on it, 100%. Like let's just do it the night of. Plus, that adds a little bit more spice and excitement to it.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on
Anyway,
that.
that's headline. It should be a fun show.
Can I make a point about Survivor Series since it just passed and
Hell yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay. So bless you.
Bless you.
Oh god, I'm falling apart. Everything's coming out of my brain.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
rowdy. Or hot.
So the more I think about it, the more I really wish that they would have done one traditional Survivor Series match, and I wish it would have been the women's. And hear me out. There was like, it seemed like there was more of a reason to have this like War Games match with the Bloodline, because it's a quote unquote blood feud, whatever, it's the OG Bloodline and the fucking usurper led Bloodline. But like with the women's War Game match, there really wasn't anything like at stake. Now, granted, like the Utafala wasn't at stake in the men's, but just more so the precursor to like Roman eventually getting the Utafala back. But like the women's match had no stakes. You had two women's champions, on the same side who like not even like a month and a half ago or whatever were fighting at Crown Jewel. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. Like, the biggest focus, the big story was between, like, the rivalry between Rhea and Liv and Raquel. So, like, why not help highlight some more people and, and just do a traditional, like, 5-on-5 elimination thing? Like, you could have had somebody, like, you could have had to get down to... You could have done the whole thing like where, the one side gets severely outnumbered and, they have to fight back or whatever one way or the other, make somebody look strong that way. But, like, I don't know. And for the love of God, Io Sky, please, you're going to kill yourself jumping in a,
knock that off.
Like, it's a fun...
I understand.
It's a fun spot to see, but Jesus Christ, like... She's done it every time.
Wait, he's the only one.
It's right up there with Kofi. It's right up there with Kofi doing the thing during the Royal Rumbles.
Yes.
Like, okay, it like if you're sitting there, okay, once was cool, twice was fine. Stop while you're ahead.
Yes.
Because in this case, it can lead to something worse than just fucking up and accidentally getting eliminated from the Rumble. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
But at this point, she's the only person in the fucking wrestling industry that I trust to jump off of the fucking cage.
Well,
Adam Copeland can't do it, but Bronson Reed can't do it. Fucking Jimmy Uso can't do it.
Who was I watching?
Is the only one that can fucking jump off and not kill herself.
Who was I watching that with? Whenever Adam Copeland did the thing,
probably the boys, the lucha boys.
I fucking.
I'm surprised
it was oh dude, it was whenever he jumped off there. I was like, he came feet first, and I was like, what is this 50-year-old fucking man doing?
Yeah.
You fucking nightmare. I was like, oh, his leg's broken. Immediately. I was like, it's done.
Well,
yeah.
It's done.
So here.
Absolutely. But like, here's the thing. We saw Bronson Reed do it, and Jimmy Uso came up short. So like, I at first I was like, Adam, you're a madman. Now I'm like, maybe it's just like a thing that like, because I feel like we've seen people jump off of cages for years with little to no issue, but now like everybody's fucking landing on their feet because they're afraid to take the bump.
Well, regardless of the reason, my whole point of it was that like it could have been, you could have made more stories out of doing the 5-on-5, traditional Survivor Series elimination match, which would be nice, which would be kind of nice for them to bring back, like. Just because it's War Games, like, you don't have to have 2 War Games matches, like, and it'll make the one feel, a little bit more special. You can still highlight each of the women and everything like that. They still get, you can still give them a good match time and everything like that, so they're getting representation. But, like, there's cases, you could argue it for men or women, like, if it made more sense for the men not to have a War Games match or whatever, I'd be all for the women having a War Games match and the men having the traditional 5-on-5. Like, I'm okay with that, but just because, like, just to throw in a War Games match just because, like it's unnecessary. I don't, that's my 2 cents on it.
I feel you a little bit on that. It did seem like the women's war games came into being very quickly. So much so that they had to like juggle participants and suddenly take out Jade and put in Bailey. So with like no real story other than just because. And I do miss the traditional Survivor Series matches. I understand that we live in a generation now where everything is high and tight, where they start a pay-per-view at 7 and it's done by 9:30, which is great for old heads and all that. And truth be told, it was nice to be done at like what 9 o'clock on Saturday and be like, okay, all right, what am I gonna do with the rest of my night? So that was nice. But also, like, some events I think have earned the right to go a little bit longer. Royal Rumbles, WrestleManias, and I would argue Survivor Series. So I think it's okay to throw on some more matches in the card to get more people involved, and put them into those traditional 5-on-5 matches. It doesn't have to be brand v brand. Those are neat for sure, but it doesn't have to be that way. It can be just 5 guys or gals who aren't a fan of each other. It could be faces versus heels. It could be the most coked out teams in existence. Ultimate Savages, I'm looking at you. So like, that was the fun of Survivor Series to me, in like the 80s and the 90s, was like the random teams that you'd get, seeing how the personalities would play out.
Mm-hmm.
So like I have no problem with doing 2 War Games matches. I just wish that they would incorporate more of that traditional Survivor Series vibe. At least one. Give me one. Give me one other traditional Survivor Series match, and I'd be happy.
I honestly don't know why they can't have War Games be its own pay-per-view. Like,
That too.
in its inception in WCW, War Games was its own pay-per-view. Like, have it in the spring or early summer, like a complete calendar opposite of Survivor Series. That way, you don't have people complaining about, oh, well, they just did War Games 2 months ago, and now we're doing Survivor Series, or bleh. Or however people like that sound. But like, I don't understand why they can't do a War Games pay-per-view. You have a men and a women's War Games match, or you even have, like 2 men's and 2 women's War Games matches, and that's like, then you have like a title match involved in there somewhere. But like the pay-per-view is very heavy on the actual War Games match. Like, why not? Survivor Series, I don't like. Sorry, Poot. I did give a long.
Oh no,
pause
you're
there.
fine. You're fine.
But like, I don't know. I wish they wouldn't have changed. And again, this is like the old man Ransom's all like I don't like change. But yeah, sometimes I don't. Like, I don't know why you need to change one of the big 4 to kind of be something else, because they can call it Survivor Series War Games, but it's not a Survivor Series pay-per-view, because there's not like a Survivor Series match is a match. It's its own match. So like if you're going to call this Survivor Series and even have like the subtitle War Games, you don't have any traditional Survivor Series matches. So I don't know. I have its own pay-per-view. Do the thing. Be easy. Sorry, Poot. Go ahead.
Oh no, I agree with you. If you're gonna name the pay-per-view after like, and I don't mean this to sound derogatory, but like a gimmick, like have a gimmick like Survivor Series, War Games,
Hell in a Cell.
Have it be centered. Hell in a Cell. Have it really be centered around that. I think a lot of it is just people kind of, for lack of a better term, I think it's people just wanting more and constantly wanting more, and things just become very samey because everyone wants everything all the time. Instead of just going, you know what? Maybe we should just bring it back a little bit. I mean, you know, I don't know. I'm just reiterating what you said. I mean, like, I agree wholeheartedly, especially something as fun as Survivor Series. Like, Beef reiterated, Survivor Series were always a lot of fun, especially when they had planned out, but it really felt like high drama. You know what I mean?
You can have like you could have like, you know, somebody on the heel team turn on, you know, just walk out on somebody else or something, or you could have somebody on the face team, you know, do a heel turn or something. Like it feels a little bit more organic that way than, like, you know, and assuming that's, you know, something that if you were planning on doing that with a particular talent, like, you could do it easily in a traditional Survivor Series match versus a War Games match. Or, like, in the case of this, though, like, the women's teams, like, again, were just, like Beef said, you know, put together last minute, and honestly, like, some of the alliances, like, it just kind of just slap shit together, like, just because. And
yeah, like, we got to get these people on a pay-per-view, so put them on this team.
Yeah, so, like, in the case of that, like, when you're also just slapping people together just to see how they're going to function or not, well, then do that in a traditional, you know, 5-on-5. Like, it just makes more sense to me that way. And it makes the actual War Games match itself feel more high stakes. You know, save that for when there is something more at stake. Like, again, like I said, there was nothing at stake with the women's match. It was literally just, we're gonna fight, and that was it. Like, that was it. It's like just Rhea yelling War Games because she's mad at Liv and Raquel. And hey, who else is mad at them? Cool, let's fight. But, like, the Bloodline, you know, War Games match, yeah, there was more at stake. So
You had an organic story
exactly
with that one.
Exactly.
Speaking of, I am rather shocked that it was such a clean ending to the men's War Games match. Like, I was certain that there was going to be Paul Heyman fuckery or Jimmy Uso fuckery or The Rock fuckery, like something, but, like, nothing. It was I'm not shitting on the ending at all. Like, I'm surprised, but I was pleased. I was pleased with it. You know, it was a great moment. Everybody, you know, was happy. Solo kind of got his nice little comeuppance there. But yeah, shocked that there was no fuckery. And
I feel like we all got trolled too, because, like, we were all like sitting there waiting, and be like, okay, they're going up the ramp. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, CM Punk went to the back. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, CM Punk came back out. Here we go. And nothing happened. They trolled us. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah. But, and this just, I understand that this didn't happen at Survivor Series, but, like, if The Rock wasn't going to come back and do something to stir up some shit to lead into WrestleMania, what's the point of having him come out at fucking SummerSlam?
Bad Blood.
With his dumb little pretend title and, you know, his fucking Chris Benoit throat cut, and then he just fucked off. And now we don't...
It's possible.
Neat.
So, let me say this. It's possible that the dates may not have aligned because, to be fair, he did have 2 of the top 3 grossing movies that weekend. So he may have been at premieres for Moana. He may have been at shit for Red whatever.
Red One.
Red One, thank you.
Okay, so...
And it was, you know, fucking Thanksgiving weekend, so that too.
Yeah, also, though, like, these movies didn't come out of nowhere. Like, all this...
Sure.
If The Rock was going to appear at, like, a premiere or a promotion or something that he was going to be unavailable, that shit is booked out. Like, it is fucking planned. So
Yeah,
to be
true.
like, well, maybe The Rock will show up if his schedule aligns. Well, he knows what his schedule's going to be. So again, I just don't understand the whole like, hi, I'm here at Bad Blood. Yeah, throat slit. Look at my title. Hi. But why though? Like, yeah, we know The Rock is looming. Like, nobody forgot about that. You don't have to remind people by being like, oh, The Rock. I forgot that he was at Mania for the first time wrestling in God knows how long in a major fucking storyline. That just slipped my mind. It's a good thing he came out and reminded me that he still had that belt and was still looking at Roman or Cody. Who is he looking? We don't know. Like, I don't know.
The only thing I can think is that he's going to show up at Royal Rumble. That's the only rationale.
Oh, brother, he ain't showing up at Royal Rumble.
Well, then what the fuck's
He's
the
winning
point?
the Royal. He's winning the Royal Rumble.
Okay, well, regardless.
But again, like, why? I don't know. The whole Bad Blood thing, that doesn't make sense to me here at this point, and maybe it will
I
later on
agree.
down the line, but it doesn't make sense now.
I think the thing I hated even more was like his like Instagram live, Facebook live, whatever the fuck it was after that, where he just like swore up and was like, "I'm gonna do what I want to do on my time." Like, okay, thanks, Dwayne. Thanks for all that pertinent information you just bestowed upon us, wasting 15 minutes of our lives walking around a fucking dark parking lot. You know, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like more and more that The Rock being on the board ain't great.
Oh, I
Uh,
absolutely agree with that. I don't see any difference between The Rock being on the board than the Young Bucks being EVPs.
Right.
Like, I mean, you could make the argument, well, they're young, they're immature, blah, 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 you know, it's AEW. But at the same time, and I'm a staunch believer in this, and my opinion will not change because I've seen it go badly so many times. If you are or going to be an active competitor, you should not be holding a backstage office whatsoever, because all that does is lead to the potential for trouble.
Yep. And, like, with all due respect, he's probably the biggest star in this country right now. Patrick Mahomes, Taylor Swift, they probably haven't beat by a little bit, but like the dude is bringing in billions at the box office.
Oh, and he has for some time.
Every chance he gets. He's a cultural icon for Samoans, and obviously, like there is a very large sector of society that recognize him from Monday Night Raw in 1998, 1999, 2000. That were like, "This is the fucking Rock, man." So like he has big appeal. And I get that. But like also, you know, this is becoming a big vanity move.
Mhm.
And that was my biggest fear, was that this whole thing was going to be a vanity move. I thought maybe that it would impact Cody winning last year, which would have been a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. Even with hindsight, knowing how mid Cody Rhodes'
Run.
Cody Rhodes' reign has been, like I still think that needed to happen at that time, at that
Mhm.
place, and it was a huge deal. Now my fear is that, like, as opposed to giving the light to a dude who has given his life to WWE and his heart and his soul and is like having a retirement tour. As opposed to putting him in the spotlight, now Dwayne's going to be grabbing for it too.
Yeah, 100%.
So, as opposed to having a focus on John Cena in 2025 and being like, okay, this is it, man. Like, let's enjoy the Cena ride one last time. Now it's going to be interlaced with fucking appearances by Dwayne Johnson, and it's going to be fucking. I don't know, man. The whole thing stinks. The whole thing stinks. The minute that they did that thing, the Raw after Mania, where he came out with Cody and they shook hands and they gave him the thing, I was like, oh fuck, here we go.
I mean, and it's even more pronounced too. Whenever at the Hall of Fame they had that belt presentation, they gave him this just fucking pretend belt that now he's carrying around with him like it's an actual fucking thing. That's gonna stick in my craw until he and that belt go away. Like it's gonna stick.
I love the heat that Ransom has with his belt, man. This is just the thing that brings me the most joy. Ransom, I don't think, okay, maybe Michigan, but like there are a few things in this world that I hate as much as Ransom hates that fucking belt of the Rocks.
Oh my gosh, it is the absolute worst. It's the absolute worst, like just the worst. And
are we saying it's the worse than the 24/7 championship?
100%, because that was actually defended.
It's entertaining.
This is oh my gosh, R-Truth did some of his best work with that. Like, oh my goodness. But like this, look, I'm not Nostradamus of wrestling, okay? My picks are evident of that. But let me tell you, the first thing that went through my head when it was on the road to WrestleMania, Roman and freaking Rock beat up Cody. And The Rock took off Cody's weight belt and beat him with it. And then, they posed in the ring. Roman Reigns held his title up, and The Rock held the stupid weight belt up. The first thing that went through my head was, boy, that kind of looks weird that Roman Reigns is holding up this championship belt, and The Rock has this, dumb little weight belt. That's kind of a weird look. And not so many weeks later, now The Rock has an actual title belt that he gets to hold up alongside Roman Reigns, holding up the WWE Championship. Like, oh my gosh. I hate that. I hate it. I hate you having a prop for prop's sake. And sure, there's going to be arguments made. Well, championship belts are just props too because it's predetermined, blah, blah, blah. Yes, but it's a prop that has a purpose. This doesn't, other than to serve for The Rock to carry something around and hold up in the air or hold on his dumb fucking roided out shoulder. Like, it's not. I hate it. I hate it so much. It's so dumb.
Poot?
So, like,
Poot?
I'm not a.
Poot, any thoughts on the whole Rock situation before you?
I mean, listen. So lately, I've been throwing out a phrase that, and this is before I go because I realize I am 10 minutes behind schedule just because I was in awe of the not listen, normally I go, wow, that's a lot of like hate for something. But you have not only a deep, burning, unabashed hatred for that, but you have a rock solid ethos behind it. There is purpose to that hate. This isn't blind hate. This is thoughtful, methodical, and constructed hatred. And I applaud you in your efforts, sir. I will say this. I think it's arbitrary. I don't think The Rock needs any more dressing up. I think what they said about it and like how they presented it to him was contrived. I feel like it was very like, it was very cringy. It was very eye-rolly. The Rock does not need to cement his legacy as one of the best performers of all times. I'm not going to say wrestlers. Sorry. Technically, he's nothing special. He was one of the best performers, one of the best on the mic, and a wildly talented entertainer. But I just feel like it's unnecessary. I feel like it is just. Now, maybe it was developed and it was built this way to help build heel Rock. You know what I mean? Maybe that was part of it. Maybe this isn't something that was genuine. Maybe it was crafted to help you go, oh, fuck this fucking guy. You know what I mean? And if that's the case, I applaud it. I truly do.
Well, let's.
But to the point here, I think it's something that's unnecessary. I think it is foolish. I think it is cringy and stupid. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's not even good window dressing. It's just like it's putting a hat on a hat. Like that's what it is.
Sometimes I wear two hats. Damn it.
Yes, because I wear two hats. Sometimes I wear a hat. But that's like the thing for it. It's kind of like saying it's Chekhov's gun or like whatever. This is putting a hat on a hat. It's doing. You're like, well, one hat's good. That means two hats must be better. Like giving The Rock this didn't do anything for him. It didn't do anything for us. It didn't do anything for anybody other than make you go, oh yeah, he's great. People's champ, Muhammad Ali. That's cool, dope, neat. Like, I don't know. I think it's dumb. But anyway, boys, I'm gonna leave this in your hands. I am actually starting to get drowsy. So I'm going to take my leave. I will not make this a regular thing. I will make sure to block off my time, but I would really like to just stay on my little schedule. Okay.
You're all good, man.
I'm going to bow out on this. I love you boys very much.
Feel better, man.
Hi, Poot. Have a good night,
All right.
Pooters.
Bye.
So
I'm gonna pivot off some real quick. Remember whenever, because Poot said about it being crafted to help heal Rock. Keep in mind that when he came back, the thought process was Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania. This belt didn't just like come overnight, right? Like this is probably something that was in the works for a while. I think The Rock wanted to be a face coming out holding this belt to face Roman at WrestleMania.
mm-hmm. I could see that.
Oh.
You know,
for all the shit that we've given Vince McMahon for being disconnected from reality, and we have with good fucking reason, that move that The Rock would have done would have potentially been one of the most disconnected things from reality in the history of wrestling.
You mean like actually taking Cody's spot?
Well, but like coming out with the belt and thinking, I'm the face, and I have this title because I'm the face, and they're going to like me because I have this title. Like, at no point, any wrestling fan, because I'm sure that we're not the only ones who think this, like, I'm sure that this is a prevailing opinion that it's just silly. It's silly. It's silly.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that intrigues me with anything with The Rock is to see, one, what it was that he gave to Cody whenever they shook hands or whatever. Like, that's still something. I don't think it was. I don't know for sure. But I don't feel like it was something that was just a throwaway. Like, I'm sure people have asked Cody, what it was or whatever, like in the next PLE, or something. I feel like he has to have been asked, and I'm sure he hasn't said what it was yet, correct? Like,
no.
we still don't know.
Uh-huh.
So that's got to tie into something, because I feel like it's not a throwaway thing. I feel like it's something that was very deliberate. Like, I feel like there's been a lot of those things with Triple H at the helm, where there's things that are like right in front of you, like a la the Sami Zayn with the phone thing before, shortly before Survivor Series. Like, I don't know. There's just something. I'm interested to see what that was all about, and subsequently, I'm interested to see how they decide to incorporate him back into the fold, as far as like with everything between him and Cody or him and Roman, all that. But I wholeheartedly agree. Like the stupid People's Championship was just to fucking stroke his ego, and it was unnecessary. And it's dumb. Just stop it. And I'm also with Ransom on the fact of, like, yeah, why bring him out of Bad Blood unless like they were gonna try to like lead up to something like we know he's there, we know he isn't gone. We like people didn't forget about The Rock. It's okay, you know.
Yeah.
Unless
Thank you for bringing that back. Yeah, thanks for bringing that back up, Tom. Because guess what? I just saw on Reddit. This is a quote from I think it's SRS. Oh no, Fightful Select. The Rock's appearance at Bad Blood was simply to get him on screen, and WWE didn't have a major direction or plot point they were furthering.
see,
Yep.
So
Fantastic.
there you go.
that bothers me, and
There's your
like
answer, Fishbulb.
like Triple H knows better than
Ugh.
that. He don't get me wrong. I understand that creative plans can change very quickly. The whole Rock situation with WrestleMania is evident of that, and the way that got fucking almost completely bungled. But like, goddamn, really, did we really need him on the Bad Blood pay-per-view? Like, did we need that at the end? No. Like, it would have honestly, it would have made more sense if they would have saved it. They wouldn't have had Rock come out then. If they would have had Rock come out at the end of Survivor Series. And especially because there's more built-in storyline, there's more heat there. Like him doing the throat slice, now you add CM Punk into the mix, because let's not forget, Rock was the one that ended the Summer of Punk, right? So,
Yep.
you know, so there's...
Did
he not?
Rock ended Punk's big long heel title reign.
That's right.
Kevin Nash,
Oh, okay.
Triple H ended the Summer of Punk.
Oh, I apologize. Okay, I had my shit mixed up. Sorry.
Might be I'm a Punk geek. Sorry.
Nah, it's okay. But regardless, there's built-in heat there, because that's one of the last major, major thorns in Punk's side was The Rock back then. So like, like it would have made more sense. And obviously sit here to fucking, Monday morning quarterback this thing, hindsight being 2020, like, well, they should have, could have, would have done this. But like, I don't know, just think about it going forward. Like, okay, are we going to get Rock involved? Okay, yes. All right, well, what's his fucking schedule? Can he make it to the Rumble? And if not, then let's not throw it away on some fucking stupid appearance. Like, if he shows up on Saturday night's main event for no good goddamn reason, I'm gonna be like, why? Like, I don't know. I don't think any of the fans now are like clamoring to see him. Like, it's not like, oh my god, when's The Rock gonna show up next? No. Like,
well,
you know what I mean?
Again, to go back to an earlier point, like, we associate these decisions with Triple H, but we got to realize that Triple H is not WWE, and in fact, The Rock is more WWE than Triple H is. In that, like,
he's higher on the food chain.
Yeah.
Yep. So The Rock can literally come into any stadium and go, you know what? I think the show needs a little bit more me.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Please stop.
You said something that I didn't even consider, but now I'm fretting about beef.
Oh no.
It's the whole, like, 2025 is the last year of Cena.
Mm-hmm.
That really should be the hard focus, like the mainline focus. I mean, you still have to focus on your titles and everything like that, but like as far as like the big ticket items, that should be number one on your big ticket item. Now, if The Rock comes back for Mania and has it out with Roman or Cody or whoever, and then that's it, like he's not wrestling again until next year's Mania, fine. That's okay. But like, now after Beef said that, my fear is they're going to pull the trigger on this whole, like, whoa, The Rock is going to get his revenge on Cody. The Rock winds up beating fucking Cody for that title. And now The Rock, during the last year of Cena's in-ring career, The Rock is the WWE champion. Even if he only defends it 5 times in that year. Like, even if he only wrestles 5 times, that doesn't matter. He's still the fucking WWE champion during the last year of Cena's run. And Now I'm paranoid about that. Like what an unnecessary and frankly disrespectful thing to do. Like Beef said, people have left WWE and gone to Hollywood, but like John Cena did that a little bit, but man, the amount of time that John Cena gave to the WWE and all that time, I say all, 95% of that time, he was the guy. He was WWE's guy. He was the front running dude. Like other people had their time and their spots, sure, but like, John Cena was the WWE guy.
Even if he wasn't the champ, he was the face of the company. And still,
yes, that's what it was. The face of the company.
And
let's be honest here.
To some degree, still is. Like, he's synonymous.
Yes.
And let's be real here. He was a workhorse. He is so underappreciated because of how much he was shoved down our throats. But man, he worked in and out every night, every crowd. You love him, you hate him. He was getting reactions.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, John Cena was improving in the ring every single time he wrestled.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guilty of it. Like, I fess up to it. 100%.
We all are.
I'm guilty of the whole, like, criticizing John Cena for the 5 moves of doom. But, like, honestly, if you look at... And I talk out of 2 sides of my mouth on this issue because I'm a fucking idiot. But, like, I criticize John Cena for the 5 moves of doom, but then, like, the next week I turn around and I shit on all these wrestlers for doing these flippy-do dumb fuck moves that wind up, forcing them to retire in their early to mid-40s because they're so fucked up. Well, not only was John Cena a merch mover, not only was he the face of the company, not only was he getting crowd reactions, but he was not being stupid with his body. The 5 moves of doom allowed John Cena to have one of the best wrestling careers in history, but also come out the other end with very few lingering issues because he didn't treat his body like a fucking whoopee cushion.
And if I may, I don't think Cena originated the 5 moves of doom. I think that people focused on it for whatever fucking reason.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk Hogan had him. The excellence of execution, Bret Hart had him. Shawn Michaels had him. Steve Austin had him. The Rock had him.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking, that's how champions wrestled for like 30 years. They got the fuck beat out of them, and then they had 4 or 5 moves that ramped up into the finish of the match. That's how wrestling was booked.
Yeah.
That's not a John Cena thing. That's a fucking, like, every wrestler ever thing.
I think John Cena, though, caught the biggest flack out of any of those people for it because, in Shawn Michaels' day, Bret Hart's day, Austin, Rock, in their day, there were still people doing flippy-do stuff, but not like the time that John Cena. Like, John Cena, there were a lot of people starting to do a lot more wackier things, or even not wacky, like high-risk, high-move things, like off the top rope, stuff like that. So I think John Cena was kind of at the detriment of his time because
absolutely because they were honest to God alternatives. Not that WCW wasn't, not that ECW weren't, but like I feel like with the exception of ECW, but that didn't last long. WCW was very samey as WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
like with John Cena, you hit the nail on the head, man. Ring of Honor was burgeoning.
There you go.
PWG was just being birthed. Like all these intricate storylines were happening.
Indies.
All these great wrestlers: Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, AJ Styles, Jay Lethal. These guys, Samoa Joe, were like taking the place by storm, and everyone's like, "Wow, look at how awesome wrestling can be."
Well,
and then on Monday nights, we get, oh, you can't see me. Up 5-knuckle shuffle. F you, it's over.
Beef.
So, like, that's not on John Cena.
No. You guys are absolutely right, and you can almost look at that and kind of draw a comparison to like the rise of like Ring of Honor and all the indie companies and stuff like that were, like at that point, because at this point now, this is like, like we'll call it like 2010 to 2015, whatever. Like all that time, you have much more exposure with the internet and stuff like that. So all these other indie companies and stuff were getting discovered a lot more easily. It's almost kind of like back in the day, how when you had WCW introducing highlighting like the luchador style wrestling and stuff like that. It's the same thing. It's like the business was evolving, and at certain times, at every level, like the fans are going to be like, oh, well, we like this better. This is the new and exciting thing or whatever. And I mean, it's just the ebbs and flows. But yeah, unfortunately, Cena was, just he was the guy, but just kind of at the wrong time at certain points. But I think,
if you will,
yeah,
like if you want to think about it this way, Cena actually brought about some of the greatest wrestlers in the world, because he was, again, not him, but what he was, that visage, was what they wanted to be the anti of.
Mhm.
I want to go out there and bring wrestling back. Fuck entertaining. I want to go out there and be a pro wrestler.
right.
And like that, you could fucking write a dissertation on that side of things about how many people saw him at the top and drove them to success to be better than John Cena. Yeah, man. And absolutely, like, let's give this dude his flowers this year. And that's, like, to Ransom's point. I don't think Dwayne needs to put his nose in this year. I think he needs to bow out respectfully. Let John have his moment, and if we need to get the fucking Dwayne Ego show in 2026, whatever. You know what? Like, that's 2026's problem. But like,
That's
let's have a year to
future us's
appreciate
problem.
John Cena.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm fine if The Rock comes back at Mania and him and Roman have a match. And honestly, at that point, I don't care who wins. Like, if Rock beats Roman, fine. Rock beat Roman, then Rock can go away for a while. But like, I think my only fear is Rock faces Cody at Mania, and they're like, okay, well, we were going to go this route last year, so now we're going to do it this year. And The Rock beats Cody. That's my biggest fear, is that The Rock is holding the WWE Championship for all of or part of Cena's last year. If I take that, I have an asterisk to put there. If Roman beats Cody, no. If Rock beats Cody and Rock wins the championship, and then like SummerSlam, Cena gets to beat The Rock and hold that belt for a little bit longer, his last time, now I'm fine with it. Because I think that's a big kind of, spectacle there. Having The Rock come back after all this time, dethrone Cody, and then Cena gets to beat The Rock. Like, that's the last person he beats for his last championship. Now I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm still on the like, Cena needs to beat Punk bandwagon.
I think that's better.
Oh yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
that's better.
For sure.
Like, I think that you have an easier path there. Have Punk beat Gunther at some point. Have Punk and Seth face off at Mania for the title. Have Punk carried into the summer, and then boom, Money in the Bank. And like, if you're WWE, you should be on the fucking phone with fucking the Allstate Arena in Chicago, being like, listen, we want to do this thing. Or ironically enough, the Garden in Boston. Either one of those venues. either Punk's hometown or Cena's hometown. Put Money in the Bank there, and have that, because it would be such a fitting thing for Cena to beat Punk, and like especially if we would get like the heel Punk, not like full heel, but like anti-hero Punk. Like,
Yeah.
this is the guy that I tried to save you from 20 years ago. 15? I'm still trying to save you from that guy. And then, like, at the end of the match, he hands the belt to Cena. They shake hands, they hug, whatever. Like, I think that would be a huge fucking moment. I don't think that has the same breadth as The Rock losing to Cena. It'd be cool, sure, because they do have history, absolutely. But like,
I feel like they already squashed their beef, though. You know what I mean?
they did.
Yeah.
And like, forgive me, because I was one of the biggest Rock marks in the world when he was wrestling. I would die on the hill that he was better than Stone Cold. Everybody's like, Stone Cold was wait, no, The Rock was better. And part of me still believes that. I appreciate Austin a lot more now, but like, part of me believes that the Attitude Era succeeded in large part to The Rock. That being said, I am done with Dwayne in the ring. Over it. Like, I don't need to see Dwayne The Rock Johnson in the ring anymore, period. Ever again. At all. He wants to come out and like do like, little bits, oh yeah, absolutely. But like, man, I don't I loathe it, because I really get the feeling that he's winning the Rumble next year.
Man, I don't know about that. See, I feel like we still need that Roman Reigns redemption. He's still got to get the Utafala back. I feel like he's got to go through Rock to get that. I feel like that's got to be. I feel like that's got to be your Mania matches, Rock and Roman. For the head of the table as the thing.
It would not shock me if he faced Cody one night and Roman the other night.
Ugh.
Or Roman and then Cody. It would not shock me to see him. And again, like, I understand the principle. Again, he had 2 of the highest grossing movies of like November history open last weekend. So like, yeah, he's a big deal. And I understand that. And I understand wanting to latch onto that and be like, if this will help us get viewers, let's go. But I don't. I think the problem is you're, pissing off the people who brought you here. I think there's enough people who watch right now that aren't casuals, and I don't think that there are casuals anymore. I'll be blunt. But I think there's enough people who watch right now who would think he would be indignant if The Rock came back and won the Royal Rumble and beat Cody, or faced Roman and Cody at WrestleMania. Like, I think that that's a bad look. But like, he doesn't see that. The board, TKO, doesn't see that. All they see is that there's this megastar who can be part of it and should be part of it. I'm really hoping that like the report we saw earlier about him not being available WrestleMania is true and accurate, and keep The Rock out of WrestleMania. That should be the fucking battle cry the next 4 months. Well, 5 months. Keep Rock out of WrestleMania.
Yeah. I mean, look, we've talked ad nauseum about keeping Punk happy.
Mhm.
I can see, like, I don't think it would throw him over the edge. Not the way things are going now. But like, man, that just fuels the Punk apologist fires of, you have all this talent, you have Punk back, and you have what? The Rock win the Royal Rumble? Like, not Seth Rollins not CM Punk, not Jacob Fatu. No, you have The Rock come back and win the Royal Rumble. Like, and I've never been a very big Punk apologist, but like I'm telling you, I'm on Team Punk apologist bandwagon if it comes to that, because the people that should be winning the Rumble are A, not The Rock, and B, anyone else.
I love that.
Like, honestly, like it really should be. Like, it should be anybody other than The Rock winning the Royal Rumble. That should just not happen. I mean, you're throwing away, essentially,
Fuck,
one of your biggest pay-per-views.
I'd rather see Randy Orton win the Royal Rumble than The Rock.
Yes.
And he's
yes.
not he's not somebody who needs to win it by any means.
No.
But I'd
he's not.
But I'd rather see him
a casual part-timer.
No, he's not. He's there. You know, he's there.
And that was
a fucking lot more than The Rock is.
Yeah, that was always one of Punk's big sticking points. Was these, quote unquote, essentially retired people coming back and having these big things. You can slate The Rock in to have a main event match at WrestleMania without him winning the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can have a storyline where The Rock comes back before Mania, like he shows up in January, February, whatever. Solo bestows him the Ulafala. He's the true tribal chief now. Blah blah blah. Roman faces Rock for the head of the table. Like, you don't need a Rumble win for that. That can be an organic story completely separate of the Royal Rumble. Like, honestly, again, if I had my druthers, and it's uncharacteristic for me, but like, hell, I'm going to call a spade. CM Punk should be winning this Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Like, I think Punk should win the Rumble. I think he should face Gunther at Mania. I think he should take the title at Mania. I just...
If it were my call, I'd have Bronson Reed. No, the other Bronson, Braun Breaker, or
Braun and Bronson.
Right. I'd have one of those two win the Rumble. Because
who's the second person?
Jacob Fatu.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think the Rumble is like the biggest springboard you got. And I appreciate the fact that Punk probably could and should win. Cena, too, I think, has a big shot at winning and being part of the WrestleMania main event. I personally would love to see Cena get his Mania loss from a couple years ago back against Solo. Or it wasn't Mania. It was, I think, a SummerSlam. I don't remember.
It was a Survivor Series, I thought.
Solo.
Wasn't it?
Was it? I don't remember. But anyway, I would like to see him get his loss back from Solo at Mania. I think that would be a big story. But if he comes back and wins, okay, I get it. That's fine. Oh wait, that would make him a 3-time winner of the Rumble, I think.
I don't think he won it more than... I don't think he won it 3 yet. Like 2, yeah.
Did he win?
Right.
Wait, what 2 did he win? He won...
The one... Or no, I keep thinking he won the one where Batista won. So I take that back. He may have only been...
Oh, does he only have 1 win?
He may only have 1. I'm checking right now. 2008, where he came back from that injury. And yeah, that's it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 2013. Really? I don't remember that one at all, man.
Who the hell would he have faced in 2013? Because 2014 was the one where
13, yeah. 13 was, I think, where he gave up his shot to face Orton. No, that was 08. Where he used his shot to face Orton at No Way Out, and then he had a triple threat match at Mania with Orton and Triple H. I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because I remember watching that Mania. Because that was all.
It was, of course, it was. It was The Rock. WrestleMania 29 was because The Rock was the champion.
That was in 2013.
Because the next year was Batista, which was WrestleMania 30.
Yeah. Man, I didn't.
I'm the son of a bitch. Time's a son of a bitch, man.
Yeah, man, I thought for some,
I too,
I don't know
I
why.
too look back and I'm like, oh man, WrestleMania 30 was 2 years ago. Nope, nope, it was over 10 years ago.
Well, the only thing I can ever the only thing I can ever remember timeline wise, like the best thing I can equate it to with everything that was going on with 2014 Royal Rumble, yes, was here. That was in Pittsburgh. That was Batista won it. We booed Rey Mysterio out of the building, and that led up to that was in the middle of the Yes movement, and that was the year that Daniel Bryan won. Was then. So, but yeah, I forget that the Rock Cena stuff was the 2 years before that each. God Almighty.
So that would put Cena in rarefied air with Austin, the only other 3-time winner. So
Because everybody else anybody else that's been close, the only other 2-timers are Orton.
Orton has 2, Hogan has 2, Hart has 1. I think Michaels
has 2. Cody
he has back to back.
Cody's the only other one with
Cody
back to back.
2. Lesnar has 2. Batista has 2. Sheamus has 2. So I mean, like, you know.
Wow, never mind. Okay, I thought a lot less people had 2 for some reason.
I mean, no, but like they're also like the fucking cream of the crop. Like if you can be mentioned in a name with Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, like Triple H win 2. He did.
I think so.
Yep. Did
Triple H, like, you know.
Did Rhea win 2, or did she only win 1? Since they started doing the women's rumbles. I mean, I know she obviously was the only female that went bell to bell.
Yeah, I think she's just done really, really well. I think she's won 1, but I'm checking now.
Okay, I was curious. I mean, I could honestly.
No, she's only won 1.
Okay, and the one that she did win was the bell to bell. So she's among rare company to go, number 1 in and win it. So.
Yes. Yep.
Wow.
But so like, and is that a problem? The fact, and yes, I know that it's way too early to be talking about Royal Rumble, but we are a month and a half away. Real talk. So like,
well, I mean, let's be real. Are we gonna be gushing over Saturday night's main event? I mean,
it looks like a fun show.
Oh,
but like, we're sitting here talking about The Rock, John Cena, CM Punk as like the favorites to win the Rumble. Which is great and all, except for like those guys were big a decade and a half ago. Like, why can't we have a new guy win? Like, that's what was nice about Cody the last 2 years. At least he was, a new face and something that they were building.
Has Seth ever won a Rumble? He's only won. Okay, I couldn't.
Yeah, because that was the year that he had the Steal of the Century.
No, I thought that
was Money in the Bank. Never mind.
Yep. That was a couple years later when he faced Lesnar at WrestleMania 35, and Lesnar was like, "Fuck it, if I'm not main eventing, I'm leaving right after my match." So they came out first, and they played around on the outside for like 10 minutes, and then Seth beat him in like 5 minutes inside the ring.
So he did win the Rumble that year. That's what it was.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. 2019.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Yep. But yeah, like and again, I'll reiterate. I think that this is like the Rumble should be a time where you can make some new stars. Shinsuke Nakamura, for example. Drew McIntyre was another one who used it to kind of like leap off. Sheamus to a lesser extent. Edge won 1. Mysterio, Benoit, Batista when he won his first. So like this is the time when you can use it to like make it your next dude. And as much as I appreciate, the Cena and Punk, and to a lesser extent The Rock, for everything they've done for the industry, I think that at some point you have to like start capitalizing on that future. And yes, the old adage, you can get over without going over.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Guys like Braun Breaker, Jacob Fatu being there in the final four, rubbing elbows with those guys is going to go a long way. But also, like, let's just pull the fucking trigger. I would love to see Jacob Fatu win the Royal Rumble. I think that would be incredible. I don't think that they do that just yet, but I think it would be amazing.
Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, he's a great talent and everything like that. I'm here for him. I'm here to see where he goes. And this is gonna sound. I don't want to sound crass saying this, but like, I don't think he's quite ready for it. I don't know. I just an overall big picture thing. I do have a question though, because now that I mentioned Saturday night's main event, correct me if I'm wrong. That's where we're getting the the inaugural women's Intercontinental and women's United States Championships determined, correct?
The United States, yes. I don't know about the Intercontinental. I don't know that they've announced that. But yes, for sure, the United States at main event is where they are getting that announced.
Okay.
And I'm here for the women's mid card titles. I think that this is long past due. And I know that, like, purists are gonna be like, "There's too many titles. It's diluting the product." Whatever, man. Like, whatever. I don't fucking care. Everybody can have a belt if they fucking deserve it. And there are way too many women on these shows who are getting looked over because Rhea's a megastar. You can't have her not be in contention for a title. She's a megastar, and you have to fucking back her. I know Tiffany Stratton is your future. Charlotte Flair is fucking looming like the
Gross.
ghost of Christmas fucking past. So like,
Charlotte winning the Rumble confirmed.
maybe.
I'm out.
But like, there's a lot of fucking talent that's, I don't want to say underutilized because I think that they're doing okay. But like, I'd like to see some representation of some gold on them. So I think having a women's US and a women's IC title is fine, and I'm fine with it, and I look forward to it.
Speaking of overlooked and underutilized, sorry, just one name that came out because I was talking with our boy Scooby about it from a reel that I sent him. Karrion Kross, man. God damn, can we fucking pull the trigger on this guy? Like, I could go on for a while about him, but I'm just gonna say this: overlooked, underutilized. Fucking fix it, WWE. Ransom, your point.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I completely forgot.
Something about the women mid card title.
That's it. If this was the women's roster of 10, 15 years ago, I could understand having just, two top tier belts and then that's it. But like, WWE has cultivated a hell of a women's division, and you have a lot of really good players in there, and not all of them can be like vying for one of the two top belts. And I think with the roster that they have now, like it would be no different than having like just the WWE Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship, like in the men's roster. Like, okay, but what about all these other guys? They're doing awesome things. Like, showcase some people. Like, that's what this women's division needs. Is it needs two mid card belts to be able to showcase these up and coming talent. And again, like for the purists, they always said back in the day, the Intercontinental and the United States title were the building blocks. Like, those were the building block titles that you saw future champions carrying. And with the women's division that they have now, that's what they need. They need two mid-card belts that you can have up-and-comers competing for, defending, carrying around, adding prestige to. And then, these women who are the Intercontinental and the United States champions, those are the ones that you're going to look at and go, oh yeah, these are future, women's WWE and women's world champions. I think now is probably the best time to have those belts because of the quality, caliber, and amount of women that you have in your division. Like, it's the best move, and I'm really interested to see who they're going to feature on these two belts, because especially the inaugural champions, like, I have a feeling the inaugural champions are going to look at them and go, yep, like, these are going to be future, like, top tier champions for sure. I'm happy they're finally doing this.
There was somebody that brought up a point. Here it was. It was Pat brought it up in because he had asked if we had discussed who should be the first women's IC and US champs. He had asked it right after Thanksgiving or whatever, I think just before Survivor Series or maybe after. And I told him we didn't actually end up discussing it, but we'd probably touch on it in this episode, which we are right now. So I'm going to give you Pat's opinion that he said. He said, I feel that you want a new title to have hold on, I'm reading verbatim. I feel that you want a new title to have add legitimacy off the bat. For US, looking at the bracket, I'd go with Bayley. IC, and I know Ransom will hate this, but I think Natty deserves one more run before she hangs it up. I mean,
look, I'll say this too. Did Pat put in there, I know Ransom will hate this?
Yes.
Oddly enough, I don't. I think you can have a veteran be the first, because, like, if I'm looking at I'm looking at it, like, I don't see a WWE or a world title being deserved by Natty any, like, for the rest of her career. She's had a great career. Like, I'm not taking anything away from her, but, like, the people that are up there now, they're kind of out of her league.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't hate the idea of having her be one of them, and then she can kind of, do that whole, like, passing of the torch. It'll be a nice little nod to her, because of the career that she's had. But no, I wouldn't hate that. I'd much more appreciate one of those belts on her than I would, like, having her beat Liv Morgan or even Nia Jax at this point, or God forbid Rhea Ripley. Like, I don't think.
So here's my only point of contention. Like, she's the bracket that she's in is with Alba Fire and Kairi Sane, who are two incredible women's wrestlers. And I'll give Natty her flowers. Like, she was part of it, man. Like, it's weird to think that it's been a decade since, like, the Divas have had their Diva Revolution and whatnot. But, like, Women's Revolution, excuse me. But, like, man, I would much prefer to see either Alba Fire or Kairi Sane as champion over Natty. So, like, if she, and just kind of outlining the tournaments here, basically it's 4 triple threat matches that leads to 2 sets of finals. Intercontinental side, we have Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler, Katana Chance in one match. Zoe Stark, Raquel Rodriguez, Kaden Carter in another. Lyra Valkyria, Zelina Vega, Ivy Nile, all in another, and then Alba, Kairi, and Natalia. To me, I gotta say it's gotta be Dakota and Raquel, and then probably Lyra and either Alba or Kairi, and probably either Raquel or Lyra as the initial champion. Although I would love to see Dakota Kai do that. On the Intercontinental side. And United States side, we know it's going to be Bayley, Chelsea, Meechin, and either Naomi, Tiffany, Elektra, Lopez. I think Tiffany would be an awesome first champ, but with her already being Miss Money in the Bank, I don't see that happening.
Right.
To me, it's got to be Chelsea Green. If Chelsea Green is not the first United States champion, man, fuck it all. What's this all been about? Meecham would be a good one too, but man, Chelsea Green is built for this. Her character work is, to me, the women's mid card titles were built for Chelsea Green. She has amazing character work and really good, funny stuff. And she can actually go in the ring. A lot of people forget that Chelsea Green was part of the first All In. So, she was very, very good at she is very good at what she does in the ring. So I absolutely think that she should be the inaugural U.S. champion. So if I had my druthers, it would be Chelsea Green and probably Dakota Kai. I don't know that they would go two heels though. I'd love to see Kairi Sane do it, but I don't think that they're gonna. I would be because Kairi's kind of a bae, but Chelsea Green for sure, and the Intercontinental Championship I'm much more flexible on because I think that there's a lot of standouts in there, but no way should Natty be even in that conversation.
See, I feel like
She's gonna be. I feel like, but she's.
I feel like they're missing I feel like they're missing a real good opportunity to ensure that they had the finals for both at Saturday night's main event. I'm honestly surprised that the U.S. title is getting it then, and then who knows when the final is going to be for the women's.
Oh, I know exactly when it's going to be.
When?
Premiere Netflix, baby.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Why would it not be?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. I get it.
I'm okay if Bailey's in the picture, but and this is kind of a counterpoint or counter argument to my Natty argument, but I don't think Bailey's already been. She's been a multiple time women's champion, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't think she needs the mid card belt. I'm okay if she's in the tournament. Yeah, definitely fine with that. Much deserved, but I don't know. I think you kind of surpassed that with Bailey. She's already proven herself to be the main title worthy champion. I don't think she needs a mid card to put under her belt.
Well,
I mean, it would probably be neat for her to be a Triple Crown or whatever of the women's division, but I don't think she needs it.
I think the only benefit, and I don't want to see Bailey be the inaugural. I agree with Beef. I want to see it be Chelsea Green, and I can honestly, the more I'm thinking about it, I could see somebody, I could see Tiffany Stratton or whoever costing Bailey her match against Chelsea Green and Chelsea advancing or whatever. So I could definitely see that on the women's US title side. But I think that if at some point they go with Bailey being one of the mid card title holders or whatever, I think it'll be good for I think it'll be good for her to help give the rub to to another up and coming talent or something like that. I mean, honestly, at a certain point you can only you can only be at the top, very tippy top of the card for so long and so many times, unless you're John Cena. But again, that was a different time. There's nothing wrong with kind of stepping out of the main event picture, or something, or you take a devastating loss or something and kind of have like a whole rebuilding arc and stuff like that. I mean, there's lots of ways to go about it, but I'm with you in the sense that I don't want to see her. I don't want to initially see her hold that U.S. women's U.S. title. I agree. I feel like she's beyond that. I feel like she should be in the main title hunt. I don't know, but I really hope Chelsea wins it. I'm not sure how I feel about the women's intercontinental side. Like, I'm looking at the
There's
names.
lots of dark horses, man. Like Shayna would be great. Katana would be great.
Shayna,
right, was
well, I was
really...
gonna say Shayna would have been great, but Dakota Kai already won that match, unfortunately. Like, I feel like
Oh, did she?
yeah.
I didn't even... Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm here for that. Lyra, I think, is a heavy favorite.
Oh, absolutely. I could even see.
Man.
I could even honestly, like, I wouldn't hate it, but like I could see them pushing Zelina a little bit. But man,
Not over Lyra, man.
Well, not over.
Me,
I don't want to see it over Lyra, like, but I could see them doing it. Like, I don't know. Something about it. I could just see them doing that.
if you put a gun on my head and said, "Okay, Beef, given what's out there right now, who do you want to see as the women's Intercontinental champion?" I would say Alba Fire, because she did an amazing job as the UK champion for so long, and I think that she is a severely underrated talent.
I feel like, honestly, of everybody that's there right now, being the fact that Shayna Baszler is out of it, I'd honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing Natalya, because I feel like she, I feel like it would mean, the fact that she's a veteran or whatever. Granted, in our eyes, she may not hold a whole lot of stock or whatever, but as far as, like, say if Natalya wins it, and then at some point, like, if Alba Fire's the next one to win it or whatever, like, it would, I don't know, it would still be like a big deal or whatever, because she beat Natalya. Like, Natalya's a women's legend. I mean, that, and I'm not saying that's exactly how I feel, but I can see their rationale for doing this. I wouldn't hate it, but I would. Any way you
slice it, though. One thing that I think is important to focus on is that
it's not Charlotte Flair.
That is, yes, that's important. But even I think something that overshadows in importance is that this is the Triple H era. This is no longer the Vince McMahon era. So we have no fear whatsoever of James Ellsworth being the first ever women's United States or women's Intercontinental champion.
Oh,
look,
fuck.
That's still something that sticks in my craw to this day.
Yep.
Oh my!
And I am not, by any stretch of the imagination, like a, whatever warrior you want to call that. Like, I'm not a social justice warrior by any stretch of the imagination. But I still think it was extremely distasteful, because that was when he climbed that ladder and grabbed that briefcase in that women's Money in the Bank match. Wasn't that the first one?
It sure was.
Okay, so like I will get on my soapbox and say, like, to this day that still sticks in my craw that he, like, if you're gonna have him, like, if he's with, I don't even remember who he was with at the time.
Carmella. He was with
Carmella. But like, if you have him interfere on her behalf, fine. He can get knocked off a ladder. He can pull somebody down from a ladder, whatever. But like, to have him actually be the one to retrieve that briefcase in the fucking first women's Money in the Bank match, there are a few things in wrestling that still stick in my craw, no matter how far away from it I go. That's one that's always going to stick with me. The Rock and his dumbass belt, that's going to stick with me. And James Ellsworth pulling that briefcase down in the fucking first women's Money in the Bank match in history. Like, ooh.
And let's not forget, they had to redo it. Like, the outcry was so huge.
Oh, did they? I forgot about that.
The following week on SmackDown, they had a redo. They're like, "Oops, we fucked up. So here's Money in the Bank Part 2."
Mhm.
Like, but I mean, like, it's not the same because the die was already cast. But yeah, no, that's a very poignant response. I'm pretty sure that we are safe from James Ellsworth, but you can never be safe from James Ellsworth.
Actually, you
What
can't.
was his fucking thing? If a man has a dream, whatever the fuck he said, I don't know, man. Fuck that
Actually,
no chin having bastard.
you can't be safe from James Ellsworth because Superhuman and friends just beat the shit out of him on one of his reels. So we're good. We're safe. Thanks, Superhuman.
Fuck
Whoop whoop.
this shit.
Whoop.
Boys, we've been kibitzing here for some time.
We have.
Even a full hour after we've lost the Pootman. So I think it's only fair to wrap this up. Poot! Oh wait, Branson.
Hey, everybody, thanks for listening to the P3, blah, blah, blah. It's the Poot speech. The things are in the thing, do the thing, blah, blah, blah. And remember, when you have a thing that once did another thing, then that thing will once again be thinged, and you can count on something being the thing. Thanks, everybody. Bye.